Travel Talk, where our expert magical memory planners discuss ways you can have fun, memorable, and stress-free family vacations. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Travel Talk. We are so excited today to talk to you about the Symphony of the Seas. So just yesterday, my daughter and I got to go on a ship tour of the Symphony of the Seas, which is currently in Bayonne, New Jersey. And so it was a really easy day trip for us. And I'm going to tell you all about the things we learned about the ship. So first, a little peek behind the curtain, a little backstage, what happens with travel agents. So one of the things we get to do, which is super fun, are ship tours. And with this experience, we get to board the ship right after all the guests get off. We get on and we go upstairs. We get to see a bunch of the staterooms while they're being changed over for the new guests to arrive. And then we go down into the public spaces and we have lunch. And then we get to go through all the public spaces like the theater and the ice skating rink and the mini golf and the pool deck and the promenade and all the public areas of the ship. We get to see, where everything is, what it looks like, and get to experience a little bit of the food and get a good lay of the land of the ship. And one of the coolest things about the ship tour is those rooms that we visit at the beginning, because even if we sail ourselves on a ship, we generally will only see the stateroom that we are sailing in. But on the ship tour, we get to go to various suites and different categories that we might not normally get to see, everything from inside cabins up to like royal suites. So it's really a cool experience that we get to do. It's a really, really busy, short period of time, 10,000 steps. And I can't tell you how many decks of stairs because we generally stay on the stairs instead of in the elevators. And so we're up on deck 17, down to deck 5, and up and down all day long, running around the ship, getting to see as much as we can in the short period of time before we have to get off so the ship can set sail. So just kind of a fun but really helpful thing that we get to do from time to time is a ship tour, and it helps get us the information that we need to share with our guests. So just thought you might enjoy a little bit of that peek behind the curtain on how we do those things. But what we're going to talk about today is Symphony of the Seas. And so Symphony of the Seas is an Oasis class ship from Royal Caribbean. In Oasis class, there are currently, let's see, 6 ships in Oasis class. 2 are very new, Utopia of the Seas, which just started sailing, and Wonder of the Seas, which is also coming. And the other ships in that class are Allure of the Seas, Oasis of the Seas, which it is named after, Harmony of the Seas, and then Symphony. So we did a podcast in the past, I believe, about Allure. We've been on Allure and Oasis with my family. And those are other Oasis class ships. Oasis class currently, although I reserve the right to change my opinion in the future, is my favorite class of Royal Caribbean ship. They are some of the larger ships. They were the largest in the world until Icon class came out recently, but they are among the biggest. They have about 5,400 guests on board. They vary a little bit from ship to ship, but that's kind of the ballpark. And they're about 220,000 gross tons, if you like the numbers. And so they're a good size ship. And one of the things I love about the ship is although they are large, I feel like there's lots to do, but I never feel overwhelmed by it. There are 7 distinct neighborhoods with different areas for people to go. So whether you're down on the boardwalk or you're in Central Park or the promenade, up on the pool deck, in the solarium, there's all these different places people tend to go. So the first day, and I notice this when I do the ship tour and I hear all the people who are getting on the boat, the one woman at lunch said, is it going to feel like this the whole time? This seems kind of overwhelming. And, it's not, because in the beginning, everybody's got luggage and no one knows where they're going. And everyone's pretty much going to the same locations because staterooms aren't ready. There's not entertainment happening yet. So everyone's really in one of the dining venues that are open or in the pool area. So that first day of boarding, it can be a little hectic. But I always tell people, please don't let that shape your cruise. It is going to settle down. You're going to go to dinner, and the next day, everybody's going to be in their respective places, and it's not going to be that hectic, really, the rest of your sailing. So nothing to worry about with the larger ships. But I love that. I love that there's all these different areas to go in. So, what I'm going to do on this episode is kind of just talk through some of the things that set Symphony of the Seas apart from the other Oasis class ships. So, even though they're all very similar, there are little nuances that are different about them, and some things that I found that I loved about Symphony that I wanted to share. So let's start with my favorite topic. If you follow our podcast, you can probably guess we're going to talk about the food because that is my favorite topic is dining. So Symphony of the Seas as an Oasis class ship has a lot of the same places that are typical of the Royal Caribbean brand. There's an Azumi, which is the um, Asian hibachi sushi type restaurant. There's a Chops Grill, El Loco Fresh. Of course, there's Sorrento's Pizza, not to worry. We have to go there every night. So that after dinner, we go to dinner and then we go to Sorrento's. But anyway, so those are just a few of the places that are similar. And there's others too that you'll find on most of the Oasis class ships. But some things that are less frequent, they are on other ships, but only a few other ones that Symphony has. The one is hooked seafood. So this is the first time I've been on a ship with Hooked Seafood. Hooked Seafood is a specialty dining location. They serve lunch and dinner. Reservations are definitely recommended. You can pre-purchase it in your cruise planner, but this is a seafood lover's dream. It is an amazing restaurant, really all about the seafood. So there's the surf and turf, there was a shrimp cocktail, there was lobster mac and cheese, there was a very, very good menu. So that is definitely a place to try if you're heading on Symphony. The other one is Wonderland Imaginative Cuisine. Wonderland is crazy. It is really cool. This is a dinner location, also specialty dining. They have a really interesting menu that appeals to all the senses. So each part of the menu kind of appeals to a different area. And it's a chef crafted menu. And one of the coolest things about it is it's very whimsical and kind of crazy restaurant, right? Think of Alice in Wonderland, right? So one of the coolest things I love is when you sit down at your meal, there's an easel on the table and a paintbrush, and you have to dip your paintbrush in the water that they provide, not your water glass. And you paint your menu, and by wetting the menu with the paintbrush, it reveals the menu for the evening. So just whimsical and interesting, and yet really fine dining. Think of like that chef's table or that like high-end dining experience. So you have this mixture of the fun and the crazy and like the really fine dining chef curated menus. So Wonderland is something not to be missed. Be sure to make a reservation if you're thinking of wanting to do that. And then the other venue I wanted to just touch base on is the Solarium Bistro. So a lot of these ships in the Oasis class have a solarium, which is typically 18 and over, adult only area. There's some plunge pools or some whirlpools, depending on the ship, lots of seating. There's a bar, and there's the Solarium Bistro, which is just another smaller buffet, much smaller than the Windjammer. And but this buffet was amazing. It is my favorite Solarium Bistro that I've been to yet. They had an entire island of seafood. I'll say that again for those that may have not been paying attention. There is an entire island of seafood. There was lobster tail and shrimp and rock crab claws. There was dishes of ceviche and tartars and all these things. They had a salmon tartare served in a lime, like a cored out lime with the tartare in it. Not only was amazing and delicious, it was interesting and fantastic. So if you are a person that loves seafood, now this was embarkation day. I'm not saying they have it every day of the sailing, and it may vary from time to time what they have on it, but this was just a standard embarkation day. This was amazing. And you will find in the solarium bistro the very first day on embarkation day, there will be some families in there. There are limited dining options and they don't really discriminate too much on that first day. But after that, it is going to be 18 and older in the solarium. So great place to get away from the kids in the pool, whether you have kids with you and you want to get away from your own family, or you don't have kids with you and you want to get away from other people's families. You will want to head to the Solarium Bistro. It is right on the front of the ship and it is just the whole front. So you can sit there and just like watch where you're going while you're sailing. It's just absolutely beautiful. So best Solarium Bistro ever. So don't miss that. Okay, let's pop over to entertainment. So, the other thing I always ask every time I'm on a royal ship is, what is the Broadway show? Because there's a unique Broadway show on all of them, and the Oasis class also have ice shows. So, I'm always quick to say, what are the shows and what are the themes? So, on the Symphony of the Seas, the Broadway show is Hairspray. And we've seen multiple shows on royal ships, and I have also been to a lot of Broadway shows, having grown up in New York. So I can tell you the shows are fantastic. They're as good as you would see in Broadway, in London, anywhere there's a show, you will see one just as good on the Royal Caribbean ship. It is the full show. So on this ship, it is Hairspray, so not to be missed. And then the ice show is called 1977. So I didn't get a lot of details on what that means, but it looks like it's going to be a really great ice show. And I've never been to an ice show that I was not impressed with. So I am sure it is amazing. And of course, they have an aqua theater as well. They also have Dazzles, which is not on all the ships, but Dazzles is a great venue. It is a two-story venue. The first floor has live music and like a band and dancing. And so it's a great venue if you really want that live music and you want a place to dance. There are lots of other venues that have dancing like Boleros, which is more Latin American, and there's, all kinds of other venues to dance or listen to music, but the Dazzles is kind of a fun place if you want that live music to dance to. And another entertainment option, which also falls into bars, is the Bionic Bar. So the Bionic Bar is really cool. This is on a few royal ships now where they have two robot arms that make your drinks. So all the alcohol is hanging upside down in these vessels, I'll call them, from the ceiling, all upside down and all like in this grid, and there's glasses and stuff, and the bionic arms get the bottles, they put them the alcohol, dispense it into the shaker, will shake up the cocktail, pour it into the glass and serve it. So there's no humans there. You order your drinks from the kiosk and the bionic bar does its thing. It's really cool. Even if you don't drink, it's something to go watch. It is very entertaining to kind of see the bionic bar do its thing. So we'll put that under the entertainment category. Okay, and then we're going to jump over to action and adventure. So, if you know anything about Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, you know that their ships are full of action and adventure. They are the cruise line that will keep you busy and keep things going and give you lots of fun while you're there. So, when it comes to action and adventure, there's plenty to do on the Symphony of the Seas, as you would expect from Oasis class. They have the perfect storm water slide area, which is fantastic. The ultimate abyss, which is a 10-story slide. It is a dry slide. So this is a slide you go in your regular clothes, you sit on like a sack and you slide down from where the ultimate abyss is all the way up on one of the top decks, all the way down to the boardwalk, which is down on deck 5. So this is like a 10-story slide. It is very fast and very fun. So they have that. They have the regular standards, like they have the flow riders and the mini golf. They have the zip line. So the sports courts, lots of things to do. They also have a royal escape room, which is included, as all of these options are. So whether you're taking the kids ice skating, don't forget to pack your pants and socks, even if it's a summer sailing, pants and socks if you want to go ice skating, or you want to go on the escape room or the mini golf. All of this entertainment, action, and adventure is included in the cost of your cruise fare, which is amazing. So you can be on a yes vacation. Do you want to go climb the rock wall? Yes, it's all included. So some of the things will require some advanced reservations just for crowd control reasons, but everything is included in the fare. So take advantage of that cruise fare and do all the things. And so lastly, we're just going to touch base on staterooms. So on our ship tour, we got to see some amazing staterooms. And I started joking because as we'd go in these staterooms that are beautiful, they had like indoor landscaping. And I was like, I want a room with landscaping. They had these loft suites that are two-story suites. There's a king bed upstairs with a full bathroom. And on the first floor, there's a pull-out couch. They sleep 4. And there's a second full bathroom on the first floor. And then your little lounge area, it has a balcony. The views are fantastic when you're up in the loft. And then under the staircase, there's like all this landscaping. I was like, rooms with landscaping. This is where I'm headed in life. So just beautiful staterooms on this ship. Everything from interior staterooms up to these ultimate staterooms that can sleep 9 guests, 2 bedrooms. staterooms that overlook the aqua theater, where you can have beautiful views of the aqua theater from your room, rooms that have balconies that face the ocean, like we would expect, but also rooms that have balconies that face the boardwalk or this Central Park. Just so many different views and areas to be on the ship. So you can find a stateroom that'll accommodate anyone. So lots of options when it comes to staterooms. And there are even some I want to point out that have their star tier suites. So the star tier suites are the top tier suites on Royal Caribbean, and they come with a royal genie, aka a butler. So if you are in a star tier suite, you will have a butler that escorts you onto the ship, takes you to your room and gets you settled, and then will be there for any shows and dining and needs you have throughout the ship. They are amazing. They will make your trip fantastic, and you will never want to stay in anything else. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about maybe a suite, to look at maybe a star tier suite. So the itineraries of the Symphony, I'm not really going to get into because the ships are constantly moving around. So it can be, currently it's in Bayonne, New Jersey. It can do the Caribbean. It can do the Bahamas. It can do 7-night sailings. It might get switched to something different. So what I just want to say about itineraries is contact us. One of our cruise experts would be happy to find this ship. We can look up what itineraries it's doing. So sometimes people pick a sailing because they have a cruise port they want to leave out of. Sometimes they have an itinerary they're looking for. But sometimes they're like, I really want to try out this particular ship. So if you come to us and tell us we want to do Symphony, then we will tell you where it's going and what port it's out of and what itineraries it has. And we can help you find the right itinerary for you.